Hi everyone and welcome to Anatomy and Physiology. In this short video, I'll show you how to access Learnline and where to find the most important things you'll need for this unit. So things like your learning materials, assessments, and where you can access some additional support resources for some help. If you're new to CDU or new to learning online, please don't worry. We will walk you through everything step by step. So first, you need to head to the CDU Portal, and to do that, you just need to search the CDU Portal on your internet browser, and then using your student credentials, you just log in to the CDU Portal. Once you're in, this is what it will look like, and this is your main hub for everything at CDU, including Learnline, which is the online learning platform. You can access it up here in the apps or also on the left down here. You've also got your timetable, your student email, the library, which you can also find in your apps up here. And another handy tool is Office 365, which that's up here. So you'll note that I have a few icons pinned up here. I highly recommend that you do this for the ones that you're using regularly. To do that, just click on the settings icon up the top here and click edit. And then you can drag and drop different icons up into this pinned area up here. It just makes life a little bit easier, and it means you can always quickly access Learnline from there. Okay, so now click into Learnline. This is CDU's online learning platform, and it's where all of your unit content, the announcements, assessments will live throughout the semester. Once you're on Learnline, over on the left-hand side in this menu, you can click on Units, and you should see all of your enrolled units displayed here. Now let's jump into Anatomy and Physiology. At the top of the unit page, you'll see several main tabs, including the content, calendar, announcements, discussions, and the grade center. Over on the right here, there are some handy quick links. One of them is Collaborate, which is where you will access your live lectures right here. If a lecture is in session, this camera will be pulsating purple, and you'll be able to join that session by just clicking this link here. If you've missed a session, please click on these three dots here to access any of the recordings. For the start of the semester, for the first few weeks, we will save these recordings into the respective weeks. But once the semester is well underway, you will need to know to come to this area here to access any of your missed lectures. One thing to highlight is that Learnline has this built-in messaging tool, but we ask that you do not use it for unit inquiries. If you need to contact the teaching team directly, please use your CDU student email instead so that your message reaches us properly. Returning back to this large panel over here on the left, this is where you'll find all of your learning material for the unit, and it's been mapped out really nicely. When you first enter, we recommend coming down here to the Start Here section. This consists of a welcome message for you, all of the unit information laid out in a PDF document, information for your textbook, and an important note about communication throughout the semester. Further down on this page, you will find your weekly learning materials. So far, we just have the first couple of weeks displayed, but as the semester progresses, we will release the content for the respective weeks. Each week includes an overview, some preparation guidance, some practice questions to help you consolidate the content, and lecture materials like slides and recordings. Please try and stay on top of this, so check this section each week regularly to make sure that you stay on top of the content and on track with the unit. You'll also find a section here about your assessments. Now this includes information about the peer-assisted study sessions which is a student-led support program, which will help you succeed in this unit. So all of the information that you need to know about them is here in terms of the support and the sessions that they provide, and we highly recommend that you reach out to them for some guidance. There's also information about your different assessments for this semester. In each of those links, it includes the due date, the submission links, and important information for you to know. You'll also find information about assignment extensions here. There is a policy and procedure document that explains what's required to request an extension, but importantly, and just briefly, there are two different forms. One is for requests that are submitted before the due date of an assessment, and another, this one down here, is for requests submitted after a due date. So just note that those two forms have different purposes, and you'll need to read the instructions on each of those to understand when it's required and what to do with that form and where to submit it. We recommend reviewing this section nice and early so that you know what to expect across the semester. Okay, now jumping up the top to look at these other tabs briefly. We first have the calendar available. This is a really nice tool for you to program things in and try and stay on top of it. However, we do caution you not to rely on this, particularly for assessment submissions, as your main source of due dates, because there are time zone differences across our cohort, and this calendar does not necessarily sync to your respective time zone. So yeah, just be really cautious and make sure you have a backup in terms of your reminders or alarms for assessment submission. We have the announcement tab, which is where the teaching team will post important updates and reminders. So please make sure that you're checking this regularly. This is our main source of reaching out to the whole cohort to communicate information. The discussion forums are a really helpful space to ask questions about the unit. There is this first forum is the meeting place, and this is a place for all of the classmates to connect. So a few of you have already posted in there, which is great, but jump in there and let everyone know who you are, a little bit about your background, and yeah, it's a really good opportunity to connect with other students. Down here we have the main Q&A forum for the unit, and this is a place for students to post questions about content, assessments, or admin. Posting here means that everyone can benefit from your questions and the shared answers. And also sometimes your peers might be able to respond to your questions sooner than the teaching team. So get in the habit of posting your questions in here first. Of course, if it is a personal matter, you can email the teaching team directly. Finally, up the top here, we have the Grade Center. This is where you'll be able to access your assessments. Each of these links will be made available to you at an appropriate time, and you'll also be able to track your grades for each of the assessments in this section here throughout the semester. So that's a quick walkthrough to help you get started with Learnline. Take a few moments to explore the unit site when you can and get familiar with the semester and all of the content much sooner. We're really looking forward to working with you this semester and taking you through all of the content. Anatomy and Physiology is quite a large unit and there's a lot of content, so we really encourage you to make sure that you're staying on top of the content nice and early and keep on track. But reach out to your teaching team if you do need support. Okay, thank you.